Hello there guys, it's me Unstable Voltage and welcome back to episode 2 of Civilization Beyond Earth. We're playing Franco-Iberia this time on Gemini difficulty, and well, we don't really know what type of victory we're going for at the moment because we've only just started. I've decided I'm going to try not to do a harmony victory because we did that last time, but what we do actually go for is still open for debate, although I am starting to work towards purity just because, well, it's better to start working towards something than nothing at all. We're only 13 turns in. We haven't done an awful lot. We're just sort of scouting the area really and getting our initial economy up and running. So let's crack on and go straight to the next turn. Getting quite a lot of aliens around. I'm not too worried about them at the moment. It's only when they start hassling your trade routes that they become a problem. We are going to need to go and clear out this nest at some point, just because we'd like it to stop generating aliens. Although one thing that I've never managed to do in this game, although this is only the third game that I've played, is if you actually get an alien nest within your territory and you leave them alone for long enough, they do eventually become friendly as opposed to neutral. So it'd be nice to see if we can get that mechanic to fire. Either way, let's just hope they leave us alone. So we can choose production. I think what we're going to do now is get ourselves a soldier. We still would like to have additional workers, of course. We are a little bit short of money. We don't really have much of an income, so we don't want to spam too many units out. Our city has grown. What tile are you working? You're still working the food tiles. I think what I'd prefer you to do, to be honest, instead of working the 2 food tiles, is work that one, which will only give us 1 food, but it will also give us 1 production and 1 energy. So it gives us a little bit more money coming in. At the same time, it means that we're not going to be growing quite so fast, and therefore we're not going to run out of happiness all that quickly. So I think that's probably the good way to go now. A lot of aliens starting to pop up from that nest. Have we finished that? No, 1 more turn, and then we're going to have to return to base to get another exploration module. We do have a quest decision here. We can either get 15 city hit points from clinics or +1 health from clinics. Now, normally I'd say this is a no-brainer, and health all the way, because health is really important. And the health mechanic has been changed in the recent patch. It used to be that even if your civilization was unhealthy, you could pretty much still carry on and it wasn't that big of a handicap. They have sort of reworked it a little bit now, so it's a little bit more important to deal with your health, but at the same time, you don't take as much negative impact you don't take as much negative health impact from population as you did before. So you will stay healthier longer, but if you do slip into negative health, then things start to get bad for you. Now, as I said at the beginning of this series, one thing that does bother me about Beyond Earth is that the cities are very, very weak. I've actually seen the AI declare war on a player and take a city on the same turn. Never used to happen in Civilization 5. Cities just aren't strong enough to protect themselves. That being said, I'm not necessarily sure that 15 hit points makes all that difference. And if I'm going to build a clinic, I'm building it because I want the health. So let's get the +1 health from clinics. So as you can see, we're getting 6 negative health from all sources, 4 negative health from the number of cities, 2.25 generated by population and 0.25 from other sources. But we're also getting some positive health as well. So at the moment, things are good. Let's go on to the next turn. Expedition is completed. Basically, we raise our population by 1, which is quite nice. We've also managed to research a new technology. Now this is good because it means we can build the ultrasonic fence and we can clear my asthma. We're going to have to move this guy down over here. Try and be careful not to end up going through any alien nests, although there are quite a few around. We do get to choose new research. We're now definitely going to go into pioneering so we can get another settler and we can get a trade convoy up and running. Let's go on to the next turn. That forest has been cleared, which gives us a little bit of extra production in our one and only city. What are we looking at for growth? I can never remember where everything is on the screen here. 6 turns until border growth. 5 of 48. Can never remember where it is. There we go. 43 turns until a new citizen is born. That is quite slow growth. Do we have a better food tile that you could be working? Yeah, this tile isn't as good now because the forest has just been cleared, which is why the population here has moved. But there isn't really a tile that gives us better food right now. So we'll keep working that until this worker has upgraded the fungus, and then things will be good there. We can develop a virtue. +1 energy from every basic resource, +5 energy in the capital, or +15% production towards building wonders. I still think that the wonders in Beyond Earth are pretty crappy. There's a couple of good ones, but you hardly ever get to them because the AI normally beats you to them. I think I'm just going to go for some of these things here. Standardized architecture is very nice because it's basically Rome's unique ability from Civilization 5. Any building which you already have in the capital is 25% production cheaper to build anywhere else. That being said, we are going to need some energy. We don't have a lot of basic resources, but we will get quite a few. So let's go ahead and take that for now. That does put us up to 4, and we're only 2 virtues away from getting a free one, so it isn't too bad right now. Let's pop down here over the river. A lot of aliens around. I do want to try and get back to my my city safely without being attacked. Going to try and avoid attacking the aliens where I can. We've actually found the coast here, so it looks like I'm going to have to sort of swing back in the direction I came from. We have now completed our soldier, so we do have a little bit of defense. Vivarium would be good for us because it would give us an extra +2 food. The main thing is it gives you +1 food from desert. We don't really have any desert tiles around, so we'd literally be paying +1 maintenance per turn to get an extra +2 food per turn, and I don't think that is necessarily needed right now. I am going to go ahead and get the ultrasonic fence. Now, the ultrasonic fence has a default range of 2 tiles, so even if my city borders do pop onto this nest, it won't actually evict the aliens out of the way. Now, there is a quest where you can actually get the fence to have a range of 3, which is really nice, but the other choice is to actually have the fences protect your trade convoys and trade vessels, which is far more important because trade is still a very, very important part of this game. I'm going to leave this soldier fortified in the city for now, because I simply don't think that I need to do anything else with him. I have managed to jump slightly ahead of the Protectorate in score. Not too sure how long that is going to last for. So I'm going to have to try and get these guys back home because I wouldn't like to pick up another expedition module. We will have a little scout around because it would be nice if we could find an additional resource pod or 2. But we can't do another expedition unless we find ourselves another expedition module. We've actually found ourselves a resource pod there. Unfortunately, there's a siege worm on it. And that siege worm is going to do us a lot of hurt if we go near it. So we're going to move away from that and just ignore it nicely. And the second AI is dropping in. There we go. It's the Pan-Asian Cooperative. Well, we don't really need to deal with them. Siege worm is still there on that same tile, so we'll probably have to leave that for now. Absolutely no way an explorer is ever going to be able to do that. Now, he has moved off it. We could go over here and take that, which I am going to do. A free solar collector. Quite nice. That siege worm could kill us in a single hit if it chose to. I hope it doesn't, but either way, this explorer is a little bit redundant now. He doesn't have any expedition modules, and it's probably going to be just as quick to recruit another one as it is to actually get this guy all the way back to base. We do have this solar collector. Now, the problem is, are we actually working enough tiles for it to be worth it? Because the thing with the solar collector is the solar collector will actually make your tiles worth more energy. But unless you're working those tiles to begin with, it does become a little bit pointless. So we are working a fair few tiles. I think I might actually launch it and get some early money in the bank. So we're going to go ahead and launch it. And we'll launch it over these tiles here. You must make sure the city is covered, because if you cover the city, you get an extra bonus from that. And it also means we're covering these tiles. So if we actually go into... Let's get out of the satellite screen. If we go into the city management screen, you can see now that these tiles do get additional energy. And we're working 3 of these tiles, and the city's also getting some bonus from that as well. So that's put us up from +4 per turn to +9 per turn. So we will start to stockpile a little bit of energy as we go. Instantly, 1 turn after the Pan-Asia lands, they want me to give them 3 energy per turn for some favour. No. And they're already annoyed with me because I wouldn't give them money for nothing. We do have a siege worm coming in. That could be problematic. Hopefully it's not going to do us too much damage. We do need to try and get this fence online as soon as possible. Did our guy survive? Yes, miraculously he did. So let's see if we can get him out of there and see if we can get him back to base. That worker has now finished work on the fungus. Don't want to stay too close to the siege worm. I'd love to build a farm over there, but while that siege worm is there, it is not worth the risk. So we're going to come down to this tile here. Not too sure what I'm going to build on it yet. Let's just make sure that we are working that tile. Indeed we are, so that is absolutely fine. Let's go on to the next turn. Hopefully the siege worm will go away. Now, it's actually getting closer to me. Now, I don't really want to attack the aliens, as I've said, but the siege worms are an absolute pain because they pillage your stuff. Hopefully, if I keep bombarding it, it will either die or it will go away, one or the other. So, what I could build here, I could build a farm or I could build a generator. Generator's not a bad idea to gain some additional energy, although we're not doing terrible on energy, so I think I might build a farm here. This would definitely be a better tile for a farm, because that is a grassland, whereas this is a plain. But I'm not sending my worker up there next to the siege worm, because that siege worm will most likely just destroy it. So let's continue to try and get this guy back to safety. Get him back to the city so we can get another expedition module. So we've now researched pioneering. This means we can now build a colonist as well as trade convoys, which is very, very good. Again, let's continue to try and get these guys to safety. So, new research. Let's have a look at that in a moment, actually. Let's go ahead and just check what my construction is. We do still have this siege worm nearby. I'm not happy about you, so please go away. Go very, very far away. Quests, where are we? Build one colonist. Well, that is definitely something that we are going to be working on. Not sure where I'm going to settle it down. It may well be up here somewhere. Seems like a good spot to have. Of course, we would want to have a coastal tile, but possibly if we can get up on here, that would be good, because then we could get the tubers, we could get the resin, we could get the ferraxite, we'd get the geothermal, the algae, the fruit. That seems like a very good tile, actually. And I still want to try and keep the city coastal if possible. And then we're going to have to start working down here towards the titanium, because there's some good sources of titanium down here, and putting something down on the river might not be a bad idea. So, do we have anything here nearby that we'd like to connect and that we can't connect? Well, the answer to that is no, not really. So, I think choices are, at the moment, we either go for... Right, we can clear miasma because we do have ecology, which is fantastic. Alien biology would be good because it allows us some miasma immunity, but I think I want to go into physics because that would allow me to get a ranger, and having a ranged combat unit is very, very useful. After that, we'll probably go into engineering so we can start to hook up titanium. I don't know, I'll give that one some consideration when we actually get to that point. So let's go on to the next turn. Siege worm has moved away a little bit, but he's not gone far enough away for my liking. He could still come back. We have you, of course. Let's go via this way. Yes, I'm glad I went that way, because now we've just found ourselves another resource pod, and it might have something nice in it. And here is our third AI. And that's the ARC. I suppose she's probably going to ask me for money on the next turn. So let's go and have a look in this direction. Another resource pod. 19 research. That's not too shabby. It's not great either, but... Aliens detected near Lecour. Yeah, I'm not going to attack you because I think you're going to be alright. It's only the siege worm really that's bothering me. There's a lot of aliens around. We may really have to get that nest cleared out as soon as possible. There's the African Union, who we played as in our first game. That wasn't the best tile to move into. We will take some damage there because it is on miasma, but I did want to reveal a little bit what was around there. So we will take some damage, but then we'll back out. There we go. We took a little bit, but we'll come back around and go that way. We can develop another virtue. So what do we go for here? We don't have additional cities, so getting that is a little bit pointless. Like I said, not too bothered about the wonders. We could earn 1% of stockpiled energy per turn, every turn up to 100 energy. Now that's actually quite good when you're making money, but I don't think we need that straight away. I think what I'm actually going to do is get some more stuff in knowledge. Extra culture for every population is great. Spending culture to get culture, because remember, you buy virtues with culture, so I'm spending culture to get culture, so it will pay for itself eventually. It's well worth doing that. Let's go on to the next turn. And there is our 5th and final AI landing. And it is the Slavic Federation, with their capital of Krabrost. Or as Marbazir likes to call it, crab roast, which I think is fantastic. Let's continue to move you back home. Quest decision. So, several new ventures wish to establish their operation near our territory. They provide different services that may be useful to you. So basically, we get to choose a station. One station will give us 4 culture per turn, and the other station will give us 3 food and 1 culture. Well, I think we've got some decent food tiles. We don't want to grow too fast because of happiness problems, so I think we should go for the one that gives us the additional culture. So that's gone and popped a station down over here, which isn't blocking me from where I want to put my second city. In fact, it's going to be quite close. Now, it does mean that I need to build a trade convoy. We're 1 turn away from getting the ultrasonic fence, which is fine there. So let's go ahead and get our worker to go back up here near this farm. The siege worm is down here now, so it is moving away from us at this point. But there are so many aliens down here, it's getting a little bit scary. We do have the fence, so at least we are relatively immune from these guys now. We are going to need to build a trade depot before we can get a trade convoy. So let us go ahead and do that. Unit needs orders. You're definitely going to work on a farm. And you guys are going to continue to move back towards the city. We'll get you another expedition module, we'll rest you up for a turn, and then we will send you out and see if you can find anything. So you might as well just head straight back. Still got this little glitch, look. So even though the game's had a patch, there's still a fair few bugs and things that they haven't sorted out yet, so hardly surprising. On to the next turn there. Quest log updated. What is this one? Research computing. Yes, we are going to need to get our spy agency up and running at some point relatively quickly. No need to do that quite just yet, though. I'm actually considering, is it worth getting the... Right, we've researched physics. Is it worth getting my trade convoy out straight away, or should I get my settler out? I think it's going to be the settler. So we get to choose our next research. Genetics isn't too bad because we'd be able to get the Pharma Lab and the Cyto Nursery. Both of those are good for us because that would allow us to get additional health and some science. So that's no bad thing. Engineering could be useful because we could get some additional energy. Repair facilities are good as well. We already know where the titanium is. Chemistry would give us access to the laboratories and the recyclers, which are always good. So I think it's between genetics and chemistry at the moment. Let's go into chemistry, because I think we're not too bad on health at the moment. No, actually, no. I want to set up another city shortly. So let's go for genetics so that we can actually build the Pharma Lab, because that is going to be a priority. Now, I can't move this guy into the city because there's already a unit in there, so we'll... That's not the unit I wanted to select. We will select our explorer, move him into the city. That gets his expedition modules recharged. He can move out. You can move back in. Let's go on to the next turn. So you can rest up for a turn. Let's just have a quick look at the city and see what tiles we are working. Yeah, let's go ahead and work that tile now. We are losing a little bit of production, because we're not working this tile, but it does have good food. 4 turns until a new citizen is born, so that's not too bad. 2 turns until we get the trade depot. I can certainly live with that. You guys are going to fortify up. And on to the next turn. There we go. Explorer is now fully healed, so let's start moving him back out towards the unexplored area. We've got that farm now, which is really good. So we might as well just start building farms or generators and things around here. This is probably a better tile for it, because this one is plains. Oh, this one's on a river, of course, so it's giving us the additional gold because it's on the river. Yeah, this one gives us food and construction. This one gives us food, construction, and gold because it has access to the river. At least I think that's the reason why it gives us the extra gold. And again, it's within 2 tiles of the city, so we should be safe and not be attacked by the aliens that are in there, so that's not too terrible. One thing it certainly may be worth doing, and I'm really going to consider this actually, is I'm going to take my little guy, move him down here, and then providing they keep the nest open, as in no unit on it like it is now, I can just nip him into it and clear the nest and then move back. So we will try and do that if it becomes a possibility. What would it take to get a colonist? 15 turns. 15 turns is a very, very long time. I can get a trade convoy in 6 turns. I think I'm going to get the trade convoy first. You're going to continue to scout around. Let's take you around that way. It's a bit of a long way around, but I'm trying to avoid moving him through too much miasma. Slavic Federation's over here already, so do have to be careful of that. See, they have a unit now that is over the nest, which means I can't do my plan, but I'll keep those guys there anyway. We'll go ahead and build the farm. We'll get these guys to fortify up, and if they do move, there's no river crossing there, so we'll be able to nip over and back in a single turn. You can just move up onto that tile there. I am going to explore up in this direction a little bit, I think, because like I said, I do want to build a city there, and it would be nice to know what is up to the north. So let's go on to the next turn. So you can move up there quite safely. And no, they've still got units on the nest. It may be that because I have a unit nearby, they will always keep a unit on the nest. In fact, no, they haven't. They've done exactly what I wanted them to do. There's no unit on that nest, so we can literally move in here and clear the nest. And we get 25 energy from it as well. And we can't move back on the same turn because, of course, we've moved into forest. We could get attacked here. It is a possibility, but it was a risk that I was willing to take. But look how many aliens there are down here. We had to clear these out because there's just so many of them. I know that I said that I wanted to try and get their nest within my borders. It may respawn. A nest can respawn on any xenomass that is unimproved, so the nest could come back later. That is fine. So we can get +1 production from trade depots, or we can get +1 energy from trade depots. I think we're going to go for the production, because certainly at this stage in the game, being able to build things a little bit more quickly is going to be a massive benefit to us. We can see that we've got some aliens up here, which we would like to avoid. I am going to end up running through miasma to try and get up and around them, but I think that is unavoidable at this point. I really hope I don't lose my guys, and in fact I didn't, so I'm more than happy about that. I'm going to move them back to the safety of the city now. Remember, the worker is safe because it's in the 2-tile radius of the city that has the ultrasonic fence. So we can move up here now. We have landed right next to these drones. Hopefully they'll leave us alone. We've got petroleum up here as well. We've also got a source of silica. This is going to be a really nice tile. I've really got to try and prioritise getting a colonist out as quick as possible here. Let's go on to the next turn and hope they leave us alone. It is quite well protected from this direction, of course, because it does have the all these canyons and things. Let's see if we can sort of just nip over here and see what we've got. We are pretty much at the top of the map here because we can start to see the ice caps. We have another quest decision. So +1 repel range for ultrasonic fences or trade convoys will not be attacked by alien units. This is one of the things that I mentioned earlier. It is very important to keep trade convoys alive. Trade convoys make or break you in this game. Yes, they have been nerfed a little bit in the recent patch, but it's still much stronger to have trade convoys than not. So we're going to reverse the polarity, and our trade convoys will be immune to alien attack. which is absolutely fantastic. That's all I can do on this turn. We're at the 25-minute mark, so I'm going to call that the end of the video. But when we come back next time, we're going to try and establish a trade route between Palatine, which should be fine because there's no sort of limit to the distance your trade convoys can go. It might have to snake around the miasma a little bit, but it should be fine. And we're also then going to try and get a colonist out, get up here and start ourselves another little city, because I think this would be an absolutely fantastic spot for a city. So until then, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you are still enjoying Civilization Beyond Earth, and I'll see you on the next video. So until then, goodbye for now.